So I decided to document the process of building a solar furnace out of aluminum cans. And in this video, I'll kind of give you some insight into some of the decisions and the methods I used for building it.
So I like to grab the can right here, just right at the top part, and then apply some downward pressure. I don't grab it in the center here because I'm worried about, I've done that on some other ones, I kind of ended up crushing the can from over gripping it to steady it. So I just grab this part here where it's nice and sturdy. Then I put downward pressure against this paint tray, and then get the drill bit and try and keep it as vertical as possible. There we go. Didn't dent the can at all. I just have to grab out this piece here. The bottom piece didn't come completely separated, so I pull it out with my hand, and I've got a finished one there. So then that goes in the pile. Wearing safety glasses is important because there's all these shavings flying around, and those will get in your eyes. The drill bit I'm using is an 1 3/4" arbor drill bit. I do have a pilot center drill bit in there, but you don't really need that. In fact, it's not really drilling a hole in the center, as you can see on these. Alright, so now I'm cutting off the tops of the cans. I cut off the bottoms with the drill, and actually you can use a can opener to cut off the bottoms. I didn't know that until after I cut all the bottoms off. So the can openers are a little bit nicer, you don't get shavings everywhere. I'm taking off the opener part just because I'm going to do something with those. But then you just take a regular can opener, turn it kind of at a 45, and it'll just open up just like that. And I've been just keeping all the tops in a box, and you have a nice can like this. I washed all these out before, like after I would drink them, I'd wash them out, and so there's not a lot of junk and stuff in there, but I am going to wash these in the bathtub when I'm done opening all of them. Some cans are a little bit different, like these Coke cans for some reason. Not all Coke cans, but just these particular ones have more of a steeper wall up here, so they're a lot harder to get the top off. So every can's different. Same with the bottoms, that when I was drilling them, some of them were larger, some of them were smaller. So, but yeah, that's how I'm taking the tops off, and we'll move on to the next part here in just a sec. Okay, so I went to the lumber store today. I picked up 4 2x6x8s, and I picked up this 4x8 sheet of 5/8 inch plywood. And then I also, I got some of this blue board here. This is 1 inch thick, just styrofoam board. I think this stuff was about $20 per sheet, and I got 2 sheets of it. I probably only needed 1. And then these, I forget how much these 2x6s were. This sheet here was also about $20. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cans only. I have 16 here, but it's not going to be big enough. So I'm going to do 15 cans. I'm going to cap each end here. And then I'm also going to do a header about right here. And then again, a header right at the end of this last can. And I'll drill holes in each one of those and line all the cans here. And that blue board is going to go on the back here and also on the sides. Roughly, this is what we're looking at. And I'm going to screw the whole thing together, put my blue board down for insulation here and blue board around the edges. Yeah. And the reason I have these headers placed right where they're at, I have to fine tune them still, but my window that I bought it's exactly 4 feet wide, so it'll rest on top of this. It doesn't have a little flange edge, it's an older window. And then it's only 75 inches tall. So from this end here to this end here will have to be 75 inches. Now that I got my box built and the back screwed onto it, I'm just going to go around and put some of this silicone just around every corner. You can see where some of that liquid nails came through. I just wiped up with a rag. I'm going to do it on every seam, on every corner. This is just something I had laying around. It says 50-year durability. It says it's rated for -65 degrees to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then, but there's going to be this foam board over top of it anyway, so but I'll just caulk up and seal up these cracks in case any air flows, any air gets in there. I'm a little concerned too about the moisture, not so much just like the air, but if moisture gets in there, I don't want it condensating on the inside of the glass panel. So I want to get this as airtight as I can.
Box office at 238-8001.
Happy to keep you company while you work. Easy Rock, 106.3 and 95.3.
So the process involves gluing these cans together, and I'll show you the tube that I'm using here in a second. It's almost like a high temperature gasket seal, sort of. It's a little bit different than silicone. Anyway, I glue all the cans together like this, and then I paint them all black. So this is that gasket stuff I'm using. Just it was a little bit more expensive, maybe $6 or $8 a tube. All the cans get glued together vertically like this, and it's essentially just creating a very long, thin pipe. These cans work really well because they have a thin aluminum wall, so they transfer heat very, very quickly. They'll heat up quickly, but they'll also transfer that heat into the air passing through them.
Work, Easy Rock, 106.3 and 95.3.
The step after this I don't have a video of, but I painted all these black with like a flat black can of spray paint. I kind of tightened them in here with some foam to make sure everything's nice and snug. What you just watched me build was a solar furnace out of aluminum cans. That was actually 3 or 4 years ago, the building of that. I have it out here on a remote cabin up in the mountains. There's no power here. No electricity, well, and septic's the only water, so it works really well for heating. And so I want to show you where I have it installed. You can't see a whole lot of it, but I wanted to show it to kind of wrap up this video. I created the first part several years ago and never did finish this video, so here's where it's at. This part of the video had way too much wind, so I have to do a little voiceover, but this is where the furnace is actually screwed right onto the house. It has a glass panel that goes over top of it. Right now it just has a piece of wood covering that up because it's not in use right now. But what it has actually two 6-inch holes cut, so a 6-inch hole cut in the top, another one cut in the bottom. So cold air will come in through the bottom. It has a tiny little fan circulating it on the upper hole, and that just pulls that air in, heats it up through the glass, and then puts out hot air out the top. So I'm sorry I don't have a working video of this. I'll have to do an update in the future, but I just wanted to share this video with you just so you can see kind of how I built the actual furnace.